Welcome back to Runaway Roads. Today, as you saw in the title, we're going to do a 4,000 mile review on our 2022 Ford F350 Dually with a 7.3 liter gas Godzilla motor in it. Let's get into it. First, I'm going to talk about just general comfort and what we think about the truck, reliability and that sort of thing. And then I'm going to talk about our fuel mileage, loaded and unloaded with the camper, and then as well as our weight with our CAT scale tickets. We'll go over that with our loaded and unloaded with our camper. So first off, with just the general truck itself, we really do like the truck. Carla and I both have enjoyed it. This is our first Ford truck that we've ever had. We've had several Ram trucks and they've always been great trucks, and I've had GMC and Chevy and that sort of thing, but this is my first Ford truck, so really loving it so far. I'll be honest with you, it's very comfortable. We both feel like the visibility out of the cab is very good. I don't know if it's a seat position or if it's just the windshield and side windows. I do know with the windows, the way they dip down, and then the side mirrors are actually a little bit lower, I feel like, versus the Ram. You can kind of actually see over the mirror, so it kind of gives you a little bit more of a panoramic view out the cab. Carla really did notice a difference in the viewing when she drives, and I noticed it right away as soon as you get in and start driving it. So that's probably one of the biggest things I've noticed different about over the Ram, but not trying to compare it to the Ram. That's just what we've had. I still do love the Ram trucks, and I'd probably go back to one. But right now we got this Ford, and it's been a great truck. Haven't had any problems with it, and we've got about 4,100, 4,200 miles on it now, and I would say probably 70, 75 maybe percentage of that has been with the camper. So we mainly just use this truck to haul the camper to go camping, and we drive it around town a little bit occasionally, but not that much. Sometimes on the weekend, whatever, Home Depot run or something. But mainly, we have this truck just to haul our truck camper, and it has been great. It handles the weight of the truck camper very well, and of course, I have done some modifications to the suspension. If you've watched our channel before, you'll see some of those modifications that I've done to that just to help it support the load a little bit better. But this truck does have a 6,253 pound payload capacity, so it's a very high payload capacity for this truck, and it handles the truck camper very well, very stable, being a dually. And we did put the torque lift mounts on, that sort of thing, to support the truck camper. That's something you got to add if you're not a truck camper owner and viewer of this channel normally, then there's some things you got to do to support a truck camper to put in the bed of the truck. So we've had to do that, and once we did that, it was game on. We were ready to hit the road, as much as we can anyhow. And when we started off with this truck, we had our Lance 1172. Now it's a very heavy camper, but still this truck handled it just fine. We did not get rid of the 1172 just because of the extra weight of it. I know some people have left comments thinking that, and that's really not the case. So this truck did handle that very heavy camper, although we have a Northern Lite now, and it is a lighter camper than the Lance, and it handles it fantastic. It just, it hardly knows it's back there, really. About the only time you might really notice that it has the gas motor is maybe climbing a mountain or something like that, but even then it really hasn't had that much of a problem. It just downshifts and it gets on up the mountain. So it's done really well with that, and so we're very happy with it. It's inside. The comfort is great. The seats are very comfortable. The layout of the dash is very nice. We both enjoy driving it. I mean, Carla doesn't drive it much. I do most of the driving, but I do want her to drive some so that she's comfortable with driving it with and without the camper, and mainly with the camper, because she needs to understand how it feels having that extra weight up there. But and she says that she feels much more comfortable with this truck and the camper on it than she has in the past. So take that for what it is. But yeah, we love the truck. I'm gonna go ahead and go over some of the fuel mileage and our weight scale tickets, and let's take a look at those. So as far as fuel mileage goes, the numbers I'm going to give you are just based off the computer on the truck. I have not actually calculated by hand, just going off what the dash is telling me. So, you know, I've done it several times, but basically unloaded. We just recently went on a 350, 400 mile trip, and there and back, and we got an average of 13.5 miles per gallon. So that's unloaded. I had a few odds and ends in the back of the truck, but basically unloaded. Me, Carla, and Taylor in there. I got 13.5 miles per gallon, you know, doing whatever, 70, 75, you know, cruising speed on the highway. So that, you know, that's fine. I actually did get up to 14 MPGs when we got it brand new on the way back from Alabama. So it can get up to that if I probably took it easier. But just on average, 13.5 on the highway. Around town's probably, you know, a little bit less than that, so probably 12.5 or 12. Now with the camper on it, we recently went down to Florida and fully loaded with water in the camper and everything, you know, ready for a week's vacation. You know, heavy load. We basically got 9.6 miles per gallon down there and back, so it was pretty consistent. So 9.5, 9.6 miles per gallon fully loaded, which that's not great, but you know, it's not that bad considering, you know, it's between the truck and camper, it's pretty heavy. So that's our fuel mileage that we're getting so far, and let's get into the weight scale tickets. Now let's talk about the cat scale tickets. This is fun. This is always fun. I always enjoy going over the cat scale just to find out what we weigh. I should just stay off the scale. It'd be much less stress, I'm sure. However, with this truck, we've actually been in really good shape, more so than any other truck that we've had. So we've been over the scale 3 times with the camper. So, and 2 different campers. We went over with the Lance and the Northern Lite twice. So we'll start off with our Northern Lite. When we first went over it, unloaded, after we picked up the Northern Lite, we went over to cat scale and just weighed it. The camper is actually completely empty, no water in the camper or anything, so we haven't even put anything in it at that point. So the truck, of course, Carla and Taylor and I, and the unloaded camper, we weighed 12,720 pounds. So that's well underneath our 14,000 GVWR. So, and then next we weighed it when we went down to Florida for our vacation, and we were fully loaded. We had, you know, everything for a week's worth of vacation. We had, refrigerator was full. We had 3/4 of a tank of fresh water in the camper, and had half a fuel tank when we went over the scale. Actually, all 3 of these I had half a tank of gas. So fully loaded, we weighed, with the Northern Lite, we weighed 13,180 pounds. So that's really good. So we're still over 800 pounds shy of our 14,000 GVWR. So that's great. There's still got plenty of room. And we don't usually travel with fresh water. I just put it in there just because I don't know, I just did because we were going a little bit further that day, just in case we needed some. I didn't even mean to put 3/4 of a tank in there, but I did, so I just went with it. So, so if I ran without that, it'd probably be quite a bit less, you know, another 150 pounds less or whatever. So, and then the very first time that we went over the scale with this truck, we had the Lance 1172, and that was, we weren't actually going camping, so it did not have anything in the refrigerator, and there was no water in the fresh tank or anything like that. But other than that, it had our stuff in it and pretty well ready to go camping. We weighed 13,600 pounds. So, and that was still shy of the 14,000. So that was good. Not by a whole lot, but you know, it was enough to feel comfortable and you know, it was fine. It was what it was. But with the Northern Lite, we're really in good shape with this truck. And with it having, like I said, 6,253 pounds of payload capacity, it's just worked out well. You know, having this 7.3 liter gas motor, it doesn't weigh that of the you know, a diesel motor. So, you know, it gives you more payload because the motor itself weighs less. You know, you put a power stroke in there and it's going to weigh a whole lot more, and the payload capacity is going to go way down. So that is really the biggest benefit to getting this 7.3 motor for us, and that's the main reason we got it. The motor itself, just to quickly go over that, it's been very strong, runs great. I don't really feel like there's any real lack of power. No, it does not feel like a diesel. You know, it just doesn't, whether it's whatever kind of diesel. I'm used to the Rams and never had a power stroke, but you know, they're all super powerful, and the 7.3 does not feel like that, but it is very strong, very powerful. I've been very happy with it. Never really felt like I had a lack of power at all. It sounds great. I would actually love to put an aftermarket muffler on there. It would probably sound really great with that big V8 in there. But I'm not going to do that. I don't want it to be, I don't want to listen to it, you know, being loud while we're traveling, so I'm just going to keep it quiet. You can hear it a little bit when you're climbing up a hill and it's revving up or something like that, but it's not really that noticeable. It's not a big deal at all. I mean, you know, you hear a diesel motor too, so. But, you know, it is, whatever it is, $10,000 or so less than a diesel truck, and, you know, that's a lot of money if you don't drive that much. You know, that the gas motor may be all you need. It's worked out great as a truck for a truck camper. I would highly recommend it if you're just planning on hauling a truck camper, especially something on the medium to even lighter end of a truck camper. Work really well, like our Northern Lite or you know, Bigfoot or some of the other medium weight Lances, and you know, whatever all the other ones are. But it's been a great truck so far. 4,000 miles, not a lot of miles, but we don't drive it that much, like I said. So, and it's mainly just to haul our truck camper, and it's doing the job great. So I just wanted to give you a quick rundown on, you know, the 4,000 miles so far. We've had people asking how we like it. So far it's been great. I have no regrets getting this truck at all. So we'll just keep seeing how it goes, and if you watch my channel long enough, you'll see that we do go through some vehicles. I'm not saying I'll be changing anytime soon, but you never know with us. So I'm not planning on it because I do really like this, and we've done some things to it. So, but that's about it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it useful. And you know, please hit the like button, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, whatever, you know what to do. And appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time on Runaway Roses. Bye bye.